afternoon, live from Toronto on the GBCam network. This is the Chat Up Show, the show where we catch you up with a chat up of our weekly headlines. I'm your host, Elizabeth Eloidy, and I hope that you are ready to chat it up with me today. Now, as always, you know you can keep up with the GBCam network in various ways. You can continue to listen and watch live 24/7 at www.gbcam.tv or www.gbcam.fm, where you can also like, share, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. You can catch up on any past shows you may have missed. Check out our upcoming show schedule so you don't miss another show. Learn a little bit more about our host right here on the station in our on OAP tab. You can also check out our breaking news tab for more information on what's going on around the globe. Also, make sure you download our free app available for all iOS and Android devices. Just search GBKM in the App Store or the Google Play Store, and you'll be able to download the free app so you can take us on the go with you everywhere you go. And the best part about the app is that it will notify you every time we go live. So make sure you download the free app, the free GBKM app right now, so you won't miss out on another show. You also get the same features as on our web station, so listening, watching live, past shows, upcoming shows, you name it, it's all there on our free app. So make sure you go and download that today. You can also continue to watch us on Facebook and YouTube at GBCam Network, and you make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at GBCam Network to keep updated on what's going on right here on GBKM. Now, you know the Chat Up Show is all about empowerment and inclusivity and diversity especially, and representation, because we all know how important it is and how it matters. And when we think of inclusion, we think it often goes hand in hand with representation, that when we see it being represented, then we know that there's space there for all peoples, all, identities to be themselves and be present, if you will. But there's more to it. There's more to inclusion. There's also a level of support that needs to be had to ensure that it's, upheld, and to ensure that we are doing what we need to do in society to make sure that everyone feels included instead of excluded. Now, there is one council, if you will, that has been founded by our very special guest here with us today that is making sure that that happens for us right here in Canada. That's the Council of Nigerian Professionals. And so we're going to be talking about the power of inclusion with CNP founder, known affectionately as Lady ABHA, but please join me in welcoming Miss Adejisola Atiba. Welcome to the Chat Up Show, ma'am. How you doing?
Good afternoon. I'm doing okay. Thank you so much for having me today.
Great.
It's really a pleasure to be here.
So excited to have you, and so excited to have this conversation with you. I mean, I kind of want to start from the top. What does inclusion mean for you personally as founder of CNP?
Wow. I always say that inclusion is a global phenomenon. Mm-hmm. It's something that affects everyone, everywhere, irrespective of where we live. I would say for me, inclusion would mean for everyone to have a fighting chance, everyone to have equitable opportunity, everyone to be able to be the best they can just because there's the same opportunity for everybody to thrive. That is what I would say inclusion means to me.
Wow. And, just thinking now we're in 2021, and you kind of wonder why we still have to be talking about why inclusion is so important. But why do you think it's important to continue having these conversations and continuing to show, in real time, the proof as to why inclusion is so important across the board?
Well, it is important to continue the conversation because people tend to forget the importance of inclusion. For instance, people tend to forget that we are all human after all. People tend to forget that in spite of our color, our culture, or ethnic background, We are all the same, and we need to be treated the same. And I really like that question you asked because, I mean, once upon a time, not so far from now, I mean, Dr. Martin Luther King did that work. I have a dream, he said. And he did it because he believed in it. He did it because he knows there's a need in the society. And that was 1968. Yeah. And we know that there's been the issue of Black Lives Matter. And there's a reason for all that. And in recent times, the death of George Floyd, may his soul rest in peace, and so many others like him. So it's important to continue the dialogue around inclusion, continue the dialogue around diversity, lest we forget. It's the same thing, you know, when we remember people that have sacrificed for the countries, lest we forget. And remember, generations come and go, right? But the conversation we continue to have will stay with us all, so that we don't forget the humanity in every one of us, treating each other with care, treating each other with empathy. And I'm just going to drop this in. As a Christian, there are only two commandments in this world for Christians. It is love God and love your neighbor. So really, if we're able to love God that created us all and love our neighbor that is created in the image of God, I think we won't be having this conversation. But because we're not necessarily doing God's commandment, that is why we need to continue to have the conversation.
Yeah, and I love how you bring that up, is that, you know, it takes having to look at others and not just focusing on ourselves, which we a lot of the time we tend to do, that if our needs are being met, then that's all the energy we have, we have for life or society, that's all the time we have for inclusion, that as long as we're included, then that's it, that's enough. Would you say that that contributes to us constantly forgetting why we need to keep having these conversations and keep fighting for more inclusion everywhere?
There's a quote from the past president of United States, Barack Obama. It said, and I'm just paraphrasing here, but what he was saying in that quote in essence was that if all we want is just to be okay, then we're really asking very little of ourselves. You know, if all I want is to put food on my table, take care of myself, okay, and maybe take care of my family, but remember, your children are going to go into the world, then what happens, right? Your families are all scattered all around, then what happens? So if all you care about is you, wow, is asking very, very little of you. So we are in this world to make an impact. We are in this world to make a change. We are in this world, seriously, to put our very best foot forward, to give it all it takes. And then when we leave, we hope that somebody else will take on the baton and do the same, right? I was just having a conversation with the vice president, actually, of CMP. And I sent a quote that I wrote. You know, every time I hear that somebody dies, I empathize with the family. But you know what? It just makes me want to do more, because I've been given yet another day to do more, because it could have been me, right? We are all going to die. But when we do die, it is what we did for humanity, not just for our family. Seriously, when people say I've done something for my son, my daughter, I'm like, go figure, always gonna do it anyway if you don't do it, right?
Yeah.
But when you go beyond your family and care about humanity, and it's not just about who looks like you, it's about humanity. When you go above and beyond and do something a little bit to touch somebody else's life, then that is what living is all about.
Yeah. Yeah, and leaving that lasting legacy that actually like makes an impact on even just one other person is enough.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, just a concept that you were talking about, making sure that your family is taken care of, making sure that there's food on the table, and you meet ends meet. It's kind of like the survival mode a lot of, immigrants go into when they come to a new place. And part of CMP is kind of helping folks realize that no, you could still continue doing what you want to do and building yourself up and building a legacy, even if you feel that you have to be in survival mode or have the survival job as you describe it on the website. Could you talk a little bit more about that concept and how CMP is kind of coming in to change that idea of how you can survive and still flourish?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Love that. I'll give you stories of three people. I know a gentleman who's been in the country for over 40 years. And he mentioned that when he came, that it was even unheard of that they would even own a car. Own a car. My husband has been here for about almost 30 years. And he's talked about if only he had a place to go, a network, a community to rely on, he probably would have done a lot better.
Yeah.
And I look at myself, I've been here for over 16 years. And even when I came in, there was no support. I was lost. And so the idea of CMP is how can we ensure that people are not lost when they come into the country? Yes, you need a job, but you need to understand the nuances of Canada, the cultural aspects of Canada, the workplace culture of Canada, areas that you could be supported to do things right. I remember sending, God knows how many resumes I sent out. I never got anything back. And guess what? It was because it wasn't right. The resume was not right. It wasn't properly written. And then I used the same resume to apply for multiple jobs. And they're just going to be looking at it and laughing at me. Go figure why I didn't hear anything back. And it's not just for newcomers. What about people that have been in the community for a long time, right? We need to network. We need to see how we can empower ourselves, support each other. The government is doing a lot, but the community has a lot to do. Whether it is supporting the professionals, whether it is being role models for our children, whether it is ensuring that when people land in Canada, they thrive. Understanding so many things. I mean, when I came in, there was nothing about credit from where I was coming from. I came here, they said, no credit means bad credit. I said, what is that all about? But that's true. A lot of people come in and they think the credit card they're given is, just gift money. Understanding what we don't know. So those are the things that CMP is trying to reduce, And then, if you have somebody that can mentor you, guide you in your chosen profession, how fantastic would that be? I didn't have all that. And so we want that for our community.
Yeah. And I mean, in the over 3 years that CMP has been part of the community, you've been able to support people getting jobs, matched over 200 mentees with mentors, provided school supplies for over 250 students. So it's not just, helping someone find a job. It's just overall supporting the community, because it's not just about that one breadwinner. It's also the kids that are at home. If there's a homemaker as well that's at home and needs that level of support to understand, grocery shopping too. I remember growing up when we used to move around a lot. That was a journey in and of itself, trying to find ingredients that you recognize from wherever else you were coming from. And that could be really daunting as well. So just having a level of support to help you know that you have a community that understands what you're going through. Would you say that's the epitome of inclusion and representation?
Absolutely. Absolutely. how we're able to guide, support, mentor, sponsor, be role models to our children, is, support, a lot of people come to Canada and the culture shock,
Yes.
our marriages suffer, how we can help them, because it's how we can be proactive, which is really, really the main thing. It's not about allowing things to go bad before they get support, but knowing that, what, you come here, you do have somebody that can help you. You do have somebody that can hold your hands. You do have somebody that can listen and guide you without thinking of any ulterior motive of gaining anything in return, but just to make sure that we have a healthy community. We have, even young people telling us how important this is to them. We don't keep count of who we've helped, but believe you me, we hear it all the time. People lose hope, but when they talk to us, they become hopeful. We've been touching lives since 2018, supporting people to believe in themselves, that they can be leaders that they were back home, even here in Canada, ensuring that our community continues to thrive, irrespective of what's happening. COVID happened, but that was the year we actually did more events than not. It's all about changing lives, making sure that, all those great ideas that we brought from our country, we don't let it go. We use it here in Canada, and it can be used. You just got to get the right set of people.
Yeah.
Because if people tell you you can't do it, and those are the only people unfortunately, that is what's going to happen. But if you have a community that tell you, yes, you can be the very best you want to be. You came here for a reason. You didn't come here to be a liability. You want to add value to Canada, build yourself, support your family. Yes, you can. It's not about just getting that job. It's about having a career. And yes, with CMP, you can. And one more thing, it's not just about Nigerians.
Yeah.
Anyone that reaches out to CMP, whether you're African heritage or anybody, you are welcome. Because again, it's all about inclusion and all about humanity. We're here to support as many people as need that support.
That's actually what I was going to ask, is like, originally the Council of Nigerian Professionals, was it geared towards the Nigerian community predominantly in the beginning, and then how did it kind of evolve for you to realize that this is broader than just our community? I won't say little, because there's so many of us here.
Yeah. Yeah. So it did start with the Nigerian community, because there's an adage in my place. I'm Yoruba, by the way. Ile Latin Keshorode. If you're not good at home, you really can't be good outside. So it's important to be at peace in your home, be comfortable in your home before you are able to share that with other people. But you know what? I actually dare to question that, because while you're actually taking care of home, you could be doing for everybody else, pari passu. You can do it together. It's the same concept, right? So, but we started, yes, originally with Nigerians, but over time, we've had Caribbeans join us to educate us, to volunteer their time with us. We've had Chinese people join us to educate us. Senegalese, Ivorian, people from different parts of the world join us. So if people like this are volunteering, why would we exclude them from information, right? And we come to Canada. Canada is, wow, an amazing country. You turn left and right and you're seeing people from different places. And this is why inclusion is really, really important in Canada, because we're all here. It's like a melting pot. We're all here. we need to be inclusive of each other. And, you know, it's easy to say somebody is not inclusive of you. But I always tell people it's important to look within. Are we inclusive of others? So we need to look within before we look out. When we look within and we do the right thing within, then we've earned the right to ask the same of others.
That's so true. That's true. Because it's easier to be like, I'm the one that's excluded, me, as we said before. But, you know, when you start noticing that your community isn't just the radius that you've created around yourself, it's broader than that. The whole world is our community. The whole humanity is our community. Humanity is our society. And how we ourselves act within society, what society is going to be. And I think we always love to forget about that part of society. We're all a part of it. We love to talk about it, though. We love to talk about what society isn't doing right. But it's us. It's on us to make the difference. It's on us to make an impact. It's on us to be inclusive.
Absolutely. I was telling someone, I said, assuming you go for an event and you're waiting for somebody to talk to you, why are you waiting? Why don't you be the one to actually reach out and touch and say hello to someone? Don't wait for somebody to say the first word. Be that person. We need to learn to be comfortable at being uncomfortable. You know, we need to learn to do things differently, especially now with technology. I mean, once upon a time, whatever happens in Canada stays in Canada. But guess what? Right now, God knows where this is being watched. Could be watched in, I don't know, Russia.
Yeah.
So everybody's in everybody's business these days. So if the world has become a global village, shouldn't we behave like global citizens, right? And, you know, be ready to embrace everybody and give everybody a fighting chance. Just take everybody the way they are and not want to change them to be us. If everybody's like me, seriously, I don't know, we'll be butting heads all the time. So there is beauty in our diversity, and really it can only make us better.
Yes, exactly. And that's the thing, it's in the acceptance of the diversity as well. Because I think when people think of inclusion, they feel that you have to conform to whatever parameters already been set. And what do you say to that? Because you're shaking your head there.
No, we're not supposed to conform. We're not supposed to conform. We're supposed to learn from each other. So, for instance, I'm from Nigeria. There's so many things that, you know, embodies Nigeria, right? So many, you know, verbal and non-verbal things that we do. And when people see me do something like that, they may assume, but really as human beings, we really shouldn't be assuming that, for instance, if I put my hand on my chest and I'm like this in Canada, I'm seen as being closed. But in Nigeria, I'm actually attentive. You know, exactly. So, and we're here, you know, as many facets of different communities and culture to learn, to be better. I have so many good qualities coming into Canada, and there's so many good qualities in Canada. So being able to align those two areas together will make me a better citizen in Canada. I'll give you an example. There was a gentleman, every time I keep forgetting his name. He talked about, he gave an example of an organization that wanted to hire 5 people, and they gave a test, and the test was 10 questions, and 7 people got 7 over 10, and 3 got 3 over 10. And he asked, who would you hire? And of course, a normal human being will say, I will hire 5 out of the 7 that got 7 over 10. Guess what? If you hire the 7 that got 7 over 10, you can never attain 100%. You will always be at 7 over 10. But in the diversity, if you take it and say, okay, the people that got 3 over 10, they do have something to offer, because when I take them and I include them with a 7 over 10, I will get to 10 over 10 eventually. Because by the time they become a team and they work together and they share ideas, then you will get your 100%. But just hiring the 7/10, they're not going anywhere. They will always give you 70%. And that's where diversity comes into play. It's not about the people that get it most. The people that get it most still need help. So let me bring my ideas. You bring your ideas. We mesh it together. We become a team. Then we will get the very best out of everybody, out of the team.
It's like the pieces of the pie coming together.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't know why I visualize food. It's lunchtime. Maybe that's why. On that note, we're actually going to take a really quick break. But once we come back, we're going to be talking about this maiden event, the power of inclusion, that's going to be happening next weekend. So stay tuned.
Do you want to be your own boss and make income or extra income with flexible schedule? Welcome to Keenan Courier. Keenan Courier works as a marketplace platform connecting customers who need something delivered with drivers that are willing to serve them. Courier with any vehicle, better trip allocation, and cash out your earnings whenever you want. Download our driver apps today to sign up.
Canada's #1 African barbecue, the Suya Spot. Serving and satisfying your suya needs from multiple locations across the GTA, including Scarborough, Toronto, Woodbridge, and Mississauga. Also located in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Visit any location today or stay home and order through
DoorDash, Uber Eats, and Skip the Dishes.
For more information, check out our website at www.thesuyaspot.com or call the toll-free line at +1 866 448 7892. The Suya Spot. You built it, now use it. Vous l'avez construit, utilisez-le.
Hello and welcome back to the Chat Up Show. I'm your host, Elizabeth Aloidi, and today we're talking about the power of inclusion. And I'm joined here by Lady ABHA. And we've been having a conversation about why it's so important to have inclusion, but especially with the upcoming CNP event. This is the maiden edition of the Power of Inclusion event. So can you tell us a little bit about how this event came to be? What was the inspiration behind having this hybrid event?
Thank you so much again. So the overarching theme is power of inclusion. What is the force about? As I mentioned earlier, we started having people from diverse cultures supporting CNP. And based on, people's lived experiences, whether in Canada, US, or anywhere in the world for that matter, and all the things that we've been seeing happening around the world, we felt it was a good time to actually continue that conversation around inclusion. And the good news is, we're hearing more around that conversation. We're hearing more about that dialogue. Organizations are beginning to open up and do more in those areas, whether it's in the African Caribbean community, indigenous community. We're seeing a lot more traction, but we can't stop now. The conversation has started. We need to continue the conversation. We need to, again, remember that we're all human. We need to remember that we need to give everybody, equal opportunity. We need to remember that everybody has a part to play in making things happen. And so we're calling on everyone that really wants to change the narrative, that really want things to be better, to be a part of this event.
Now, this event is free of charge to attend, but it's a hybrid event. So why was it important to have a hybrid event, which, I mean, if we can think about it, it's very accessible and very inclusive. Maybe if that answers the question for you. But why was it important?
Absolutely. Again, we know that if we do require people to join from all over the world, again, because of the situation the world in COVID-19 is still raging, we don't want to put people in a bad situation, whether to catch the virus or whatever. So having it virtually would really, really help a lot of people. Again, we're talking about inclusion being a global phenomenon. We want as many people as possible to be able to join in. So for day one and day two, it is virtual, and we have opportunity to actually host over 500 participants.
Wow.
So we want people to join in from all over the world and join in the conversation. When we show up, it shows that is really, really important to us. When we don't show up, it just shows that, the status quo can continue. But if we really want to see change, we need to be the change that we want to see. And that's a quote from, I've forgotten who now, but that's somebody else's copyright.
Is it
But
Gandhi?
that's the whole idea. We want to see change. We need to do a little bit. And we know about all these adages that says drops of water makes an ocean. So a little bit here and there, we will get to utopia of inclusion eventually.
Yes, I mean, utopia is the goal, right? Of inclusion specifically. I'm not sure about a full-on utopia just yet. But can you tell us, it's a 3-day event, yes. So can you tell us what we should be expecting for each day?
Thank you again. So the overarching theme, like I said, is power of inclusion. What is the fuss about? We do have sub-teams for each day. So for day one, which is Thursday, December 2nd, 2021, starting at 6 p.m., it's for 2.5 hours. The subtopic is breaking down barriers. We know that there are barriers to inclusion. So what are these barriers? How can we break it down? And oh my goodness, we have amazing leaders in the community joining us for that first day. Everyone knows Honorable Gina Augustine. She's an household name. And if you don't know her, seriously, go to our website, www.cnpngo.ca under events. You will see who she is and a bio. You need to know that woman if you don't already know her. We have Miss Christy Pensier, a leader in RBC. We have Reverend Jeff Rock. He's a pastor, yes, he's a pastor, and is from the LGBTQ plus community. We have Miss Rebecca Plank coming. She is also a leader in RBC. We have Mr. Dan Donnelly. He's a senior VP with Scotiabank. And we have a youth, a young man doing amazing things. Otto Amadi is the head visionary for Youth in Diaspora. So amazing people coming to, talk about topics that have been given to them. They'll be talking for about 5 to 7 minutes, and we will have time to take questions from the attendees. And whatever they cannot answer, we'll take it away and get them to answer and put it on our website. So there's a lot to be excited about. We're having people that can make change happen, that have made change happen and continues to make change happen, talking to us. And of course, on day two, another super packed day. The subtopic for that day is envisioning a brighter future. If we break down the barriers, then what's next? It's all about having a brighter future, right? And we can do it. And we have Dr. Faye Samuels. She was actually the first Black principal in Geoffrey Peel Catholic High School. And she's also a mediator. We have Miss Nkechi Nwamfu Robertson. She's a AVP in TD. We have Miss Judy Abbo. She's a First Nation woman and an entrepreneur. We have Coach Alex Ihama. He's into diversity and inclusion. He has a Congress that actually takes care of that. And we have Miss Angela Paparizzo. She works for the city of Burlington, and she's one of the visionaries around Alton newcomer strategy. And of course, we have a youth, Kayla Iyase. This is a dynamic young lady. She's a lifetime volunteer with so many NGOs, passionate, because when we talk about inclusion, yes, we have leaders talking about it, but we want to make sure that we're engaging our youths too, because they are the leaders of tomorrow. So those are the 2 days. And of course, on third day, the sub-theme for the third day is inclusive leadership. And we're having another super packed set of speakers for that day. Miss Are Thornhill, a leader again in RBC. Miss Chinyere Annie McLean, a leader in RBC. Miss Naki Osute, she's a VP with TD. We have Miss Maria Boisniak. She's actually my manager. She's the regional VP with RBC. You can see that I have a lot of support, a lot of love from where I work. We have Mr. Ben James. He is also a leader in RBC. And we have another youth, Emmanuel Okorafo. He's a lawyer in the making. So every day we have a youth, and we have amazing leaders from the community who are passionate to see change, who are passionate about inclusion, joining us. And of course, I know I'm the only face here today, but the other co-hosts are Patience Yase, who is a VP. She's assistant manager with TD. And we have Dr. Ibere Morgan. And really, putting an event like this together is not easy. We have a lot of volunteers. We're about 25 of us. And I really need to shout out to JBKM. Shout out to JBKM, Mr. Kenny Bazwaye. Thank you so much for all the support. Oh my God, do I push that man? I do. And shout out to Love Bay, Janice. Love you. Thank you so much for your support. Akim Ogumilade, Extreme Media. Thank you so very much. Baba Williams, for all the people that are helping us with publicity, Adiba, Jerry, really appreciate you, because without you, we can put it all together all we want if we don't get the publicity we need. And this is why I tell you that drops of water does make an ocean. It's when we all put in the very best, things turn out to be amazing. And I just want to say thank you also to you, Elizabeth, for having me on this show. It's really a pleasure to come and talk about, what we're doing, so that a lot more people will be engaged and know that, there is a community that is here for them. Anytime they need help, there's this song I remember just now, you can ring my bell. So you can ring the bell of CMP anytime, and we will join you, support you, empower you, ensure that your journey is better, brighter than ours. Thank you.
Yes, and I mean, it's clear to see that when you support your community supports you right back. Just seeing the leaders that are, willing to support the initiative that you've spearheaded and that you're leading the charge and leading the way. And we're excited, especially for us here at GBCAM, because we're going to be there on the third day, hosting the red carpet and doing the coverage for the event live. Because that is both online but also in-person events too, just, to keep within COVID-19 precautions. So we're excited for that as well. We're excited to be out there and to be supporting this type of event, because the power of inclusion is really something that we need to hold on to. So I know that the theme for the second day actually is looking towards the future. But just in general, what are your future goals for CMP and moving forward? Let's start with what your hopes are for this event when it comes to the conversation of inclusion, maybe starting with Canada or just globally, thinking big,
I mentioned the idea that says you got to take care of your home before you take care of others. But believe you me, in the current dispensation, with the advent of technology taking us to places we never dreamt of, I believe that this conversation is something that should start something everywhere in the world. It's not as if nothing has been done right now. There's a quote I'm going to quote. I've forgotten who said it now, but it is about, yes, we're not where we want to be, but thank God we're not where we used to be. So there's progress. And so when we continue the conversation, we continue with the progress. We need to continue the dialogue. We can't stop now. We know the importance of continue the conversation around inclusion, because we will see the change. We've seen a lot of, like I said before, a lot of organizations that, changing the dial on the way things are done. But again, we need to continue to remind everyone, that it's important to continue to do every little bit that we can to make inclusion happen. So what are the expectations for the event? Number one, like I said, all these people that are coming to talk about inclusion, they can make things happen. Again, inclusion is all about looking inward. So when you look inward and you ask yourself that important question, am I inclusive? So if you're able to say, yes, you are inclusive, then you're doing a fantastic job. But if you look in and you say, oh, I could do a little bit better. And so being able to take ownership, be accountable to even yours is first and foremost. And then to be able to do whatever you are right now, whatever space you are, whatever leadership role, whatever power you may have, are you using it to empower and be inclusive of others?
Yes.
So look within somebody else to do, because we look at it and say, oh, that person is not doing it right. No. How about me? Am I doing it right? So let's think about ourselves. And I'm stressing it. Let's think about ourselves. Am I doing it right? And it's so, at times, when I look around, I see things differently by virtue of my background and by virtue of, my lived experiences, and by virtue of the experiences of people around me. I see things different. The way I will see things may not be the way a Caucasian will see it, may not be the way an Asian person will see it.
Yep.
But if we come together, and that was why I gave you the example of the 7 and the 3. If we come together and we rub minds together, and this is the idea, bringing everybody. If you look at the panelists, you will see that they're from all over the continent. It's not just Nigeria or Africa. And that's the point. We can't continue to have conversations in isolations and expect the change that we want to see happen. We need to have conversations on a global level, bringing ideas from different people, because when we do that, that is when we get to where we want to be.
Yeah, like you can't always just preach to the choir, right? Yeah. So what are you looking forward to most about this event? I mean, I hear that there may be a special guest appearing, royalty, a king. Can you tell us about special appearances there may be at the event?
Again, it's so wonderful when you open up the things that can happen. Apart from having a panel of speakers on each day, CMP is also giving awards to people that have been doing little but mighty things in the community to promote diversity and inclusion. I say little but mighty, again, because we know that drops of water makes an ocean. So these people, whether in their community, in the bigger Canadian community, have been touching lives. So we do have awards that is going to be presented in 3 categories. One is the leadership, power of inclusion leadership, power of inclusion champions, and power of inclusion community awards. So one of our community award recipients, he's a pastor and he's from the Ghanaian community. And he talked about it in his community, and his king was like, I want to meet these people. Wow. This is, there you go. Wow. This is King, this is Nana Yeboah. Nana Yeboah came in all his elegance into our home to meet us. And that is Dr. Lamine Diallo. He was born in Senegal. This is what I'm talking to. This is the face of inclusion African inclusion. 3 people on a page. One is from Ghana, one from Nigeria, one from Senegal. He came and he said, I will always make sure to attend your events. And we all know it's not easy for a king to do that, but I know that if he can, he will show up. And if he can't, he will send his representative. You know, and this is so beautiful, saying this, that we are working together to make things better. So yes, and I'm going to tell you again that even I commissioner will be sending representative to our event, and the mayor of Brampton also may be showing up. So we're having a lot of super packed, people, and believe you me, the speakers alone, they are amazing people that you just want to meet. The speakers on the final day that will be showing up, and all the speakers were invited. Some of them cannot come, but some will show up. It will definitely be a great time to network with all the movers and shakers in Canada. So, yeah.
I mean, you said it. You really don't want to miss out on this event. As you said, there's so many movers and shakers. It's a superstar lineup. Like, this is a powerful event, and we really are so looking forward to it. So, just for those who are watching at home who for somehow have missed all of the promotion we've been doing on GBKM Network and in general about this event, just how can they purchase tickets? How can they join? How can they come out and support? Oh, I think we got lost there, a little technical difficulties, but I'm sure I can answer the question anyway. Of course, you can also check out our social medias. We've been promoting this 3-day event on GBKM Network. That's GBKM Network on Twitter and Instagram. But for more information, as mentioned prior in the show, the link to the website for CNP is cnpngo.ca. And, there's the events tab that you can go check out for more information on this particular event this year. As you hear, the lineup is packed full of movers and shakers here in Canada. We're going to have some pretty amazing guests as well who are going to be in attendance, and just really focusing on why inclusion is important. I think this conversation has really shown us how supporting ourselves and supporting those around us is important to build support elsewhere as well. So yes, we finally have you back. Great. Sorry, we lost you there for a second.
Thank you so much. So I was saying that the first 2 days, we have the Zoom link. Just please register to be a part of the conversation. And the third day, it will be live streamed by JBKM on Facebook and YouTube. And the handles are at CMPNGO. And another thing I want to share is that please go to our website and donate towards this event. When you donate, you're going to be touching lives of newcomers in the community. Not only that, all the funds that are received during Power of Inclusion event from December 2nd to December 4th, that goes into Power of Inclusion, 50% would actually be donated to Knight's Table in Brampton. Knight's Table is a charity that actually supports the homeless. They prepare hot meal 365 days a year. So any homeless can go in there and have a hot meal. So not only are you supporting the community, you're also supporting people that need it. And again, we're talking about inclusion. Inclusion is not just about helping professionals settle down. Inclusion is not just about networking within ourselves. Inclusion is also about ensuring nobody goes hungry. And that is what Knight's Table is doing.
Wow, that's amazing. Another way that, supporting the community through this event as well, just through donations and through charity work as well. They say charity does begin at home. And I think this is the best example of how it can really make an impact, even if it's in one person's life. You just being able to step out and say, hey, this is why it's important to keep these conversations going, have these conversations, have the platforms and space to celebrate those who are making impact and making a change and leaders within our community to see that it is possible. Because with inclusion, you also need to see the representation and see that it is happening, that it's real, that it's not something that we've made up just, as they say, that we're all getting soft and sensitive now as the new generations come up and we're all looking for something to be upset about, or we're looking for more problems than what the world is and how the world is. No, it's that, we're building a better and brighter future for future generations to come, and having that foundation of support is so important. So before we let you go, Ms. Atiba, would you just one last thing that you'd like to share about the event or just inclusion in general?
Thank you. And I will start with something about CMP, because I don't think I spoke about the various programs that we have. We do have a mentoring program. So if you're looking for somebody to mentor you in your profession, or just even open your mind to the possibilities available, we're there for that. We have a language school where we do Mandarin. We also do French, Yoruba, and Igbo. And believe you me, there's been nothing but good impact from that. So, and that is starting again in January. We have a flagship program that we call Black History Month Celebration and Essay Writing Competition. Go to our website. The essay is actually up. It's for grade 11 to 12 and undergraduates. The first prize it's going to be $1,000.
Wow.
Second prize is $750, and third prize is $500. You want to tell us, your thoughts around Black History Month. And we have leadership series. We have this because a lot of people believe they can't get into leadership roles. We're not saying it's easy, but we're saying, come, listen to people who have done it. Be motivated, be encouraged. When we see people that do something, it gives us that boost, So come and be inspired, because you can. We have the Land and Tribe, which is for newcomers. Everything newcomer, whether it's understanding accounting, how the account system works, understanding, the workplace culture, understanding credit, buying your first home, everything that you need to be successful. And of course, network with people here. And of course, we have the Life and Living, which is for everybody. So we talk about creating generation wealth, understanding estate planning, things that we don't normally do back home. We bring a lot of people, bring marriage coaches, do a lot of different events. So those are some of the events that we do. And of course, we recognize Mother's Day, Father's Day. We always have some form of events around that. So that's what CMP is all about. Again, go to our website. It is www.cnpngo.ca. And also follow us on all our social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and on LinkedIn, Council of Nigerian Professionals. On all the other social media handle, it is at cnpngo.ca. For the power of inclusion, I want to say that if you really want change to happen, be a part of that change. Show up, register, invite your friends and families to be a part of this conversation. Do your part. Let's all do our part, because together we are actually stronger. Funny enough, if you listen to the maiden speech of CMP in 2018, that was what I said. Together, we're stronger. If you want to go far, you can go alone. But if you want to go further, let's go together. Let's remember, coming to Canada, people that have been here 40 years have paved the way. People that have been here 30 years have paved the way. 16 years have paved the way. Even the people coming here today will pave the way to make it better for somebody coming here 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years to come. So let's do a bit. Let's do a bit. And when we all do a bit, we will make not only our community, but humanity better. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was the perfect way to round up. Honestly, couldn't have said it better than myself. So just a reminder that this event is a 3-day event that's happening December 2nd to 4th. Make sure that you watch these spaces, watch CMP cmpNGO.ca or at CMPNGO for more information about what's going on at CMP and also in terms of the event. So many tools and resources that are available at your fingertips, even if you're not recently landed. Recent graduates, young adults who are just trying to figure this life thing out because it's a struggle every single day. Trust me, these are great resources that you can utilize to help you figure things out that, we didn't get classes on in school. These are some great life skills, so make sure, you utilize the resources that are available to you. And with that does conclude our Chat Up show for today. As always, thank you so much for joining me on the Chat Up show and chatting it up with us. You know that you can keep up with the GBKM network in various ways. You can continue to watch and listen live 24/7, as you know it, www.gbkm.fm or www.gbkm.tv, where you can also like, share, comment, and subscribe, joining in the conversation. Also, make sure you download our free app. Again, it is our free app available for all iOS and Android devices. Just search GBKM in the App Store or the Google Play Store, and you'll be able to get the same features on our web station by listening, watching live, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, all of that good stuff. But you get to take us on the go with you, and you will be notified every time we go live. So when you download the app, make sure you turn on your notifications so you get a notification every time we go live on GBKM Network. You can also continue to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at GBKM Network for more updates on what's going on with us right here at our home base at GBKM. You can also continue to watch us on Facebook and YouTube, also at GBKM Network, where you can like, share, comment, and subscribe. You can also follow me, your host, Elizabeth Oloide, on Instagram and Twitter at TIS_Liz_O for more updates on what's going on